This short presentation will be looking at how the IGC can leverage social media to benefit their upcoming conference in Brisbane. The IGC are aiming to maximise the number of delegates attending the 2012 conference. In order to do this, Web 2.0 and Enterprise 2.0 strategies need to be employed. These strategies will help to spread the word about the Congress and make it as inviting and appealing as possible. There are a number of social media tools available, so it's important to carefully consider which will work best when developing a social media strategy. Before choosing a strategy or a tool though, it's important to look at the IGC's current situation. The first step in assessing the current situation is to look at the underlying business drivers. These will give us a valuable insight into what the business objectives are, and from there we can recommend some strategies that will help the IGC achieve these objectives. The key thing to consider when identifying current business drivers and key issues on this proposal is this: why does the IGC need a solid media strategy, and what is the purpose of this strategy? From the IGC's perspective, there are some key issues that will be identified for implementing social media strategy. For example, there are around 4,500 delegates from over 100 countries who attended previous congresses. Officials are expecting this trend to continue for this Congress as well, so we need to ensure that relevant information is globally circulated. Remembering that potential delegates will be spread across the globe, communication between the IGC and delegates is also crucial. Due to the current global financial crisis, the number of registrations for Congress have been lower than anticipated. This calls for new possible strategies that could help the IGC in increasing the number of participants. Now that these business drivers have been identified, we can start looking at what the objectives of our social media strategy will be. Looking at the current situation and business drivers, we have established the following as key objectives for the social media strategy. Firstly, to create a greater awareness among potential delegates globally and to raise the number of registrations from previous years. To use social networking to facilitate easy communication and support between the IGC and potential delegates worldwide. Promoting shared accommodation to lower costs and attract funds to support attendance at the Congress of selected delegates from low-income countries. Now that the objectives have been established, we can start going through the strategy itself. The strategy will commence in early March 2012, which allows nearly 2 months before early bird registrations close and standard registrations open. It can be broken down into the following areas. There will be a specific page created to represent the IGC on Facebook. Its primary purpose will be to keep the audience informed with current information regarding the Congress and the IGC. The good thing about a Facebook page is that it's easy to track and measure the results of the overall campaign, whether it is the number of new users or the number of interactions. A key part of building an online community is to remember that it is not all about you, and that the audience will be more interactive and interested if you comment, like and communicate back to them. This can be as easy as liking some of their posts or replying to comments made on the wall of the page. Advertising is another good way of utilising Facebook to its fullest potential. It gives you a highly customisable target market for your ads, where you can select your demographic based on factors such as education, age, interests, employment and location. In the IGC's case, the advertisements would target people with an interest in geological science living in English-speaking countries. A Twitter account will also be made to represent the IGC on Twitter. This will be used to post news and updates regarding the event and generally keep followers informed on what's happening. A hashtag IGC 2012 will be created in order to help categorise tweets and enable people to see tweets from other people that relate to the IGC. This hashtag will also enhance live tweeting from the event, with people able to easily share and read related tweets. The IGC account will also retweet and share credible sources and information relating to the Congress or interesting geoscience articles in general. Lastly, to attract people older than the target demographic, search engine optimization can be a very successful form of Web 2.0 marketing. This is because older people tend to use search engines much more frequently than other Web 2.0 tools such as Facebook or Twitter. This strategy would involve optimizing the IGC's website with the aim of it appearing higher on search engine results when certain phrases or keywords are typed into a search engine such as Google. It but would focus on keywords such as geoscience, geology and earth science. There are a number of benefits to this social media strategy. The primary benefits include making the best use of time and money that the IGC has to offer by creating a strategy that best targets potential delegates, gaining the attention of younger delegates interested in the event by creating a social networking strategy that uses popular social networking sites. Also, by creating a social networking strategy, more young people are encouraged to consider careers in geosciences because they may read about the event and find they have an interest in it. Lastly, gaining a higher attendance at the IGC through increased registrations. The IGC can reach a much larger audience through social networking and advertising. There are also some secondary benefits to consider. Delegates have fun, make friends and learn invaluable information they can use for the future. By allowing easy communication between the IGC and the delegates are able to network and make contact with other delegates even before they attend the event. This type of social network can also promote shared accommodation, which in turn can help make the event more affordable for delegates. The GeoHost program will also attract funds to allow selected low-income delegates to attend the event. Although it's not always easy to calculate the return on investment for a social media strategy, we can at least look at the costs involved and from there estimate return on these costs. The following costs have been identified in implementing this social media strategy. As social media specialists will not be used, seminars or other training programs will need to be provided for IGC employees who have no knowledge or experience in Web 2.0. These programs will help create a standard for the use of Web 2.0 tools, as well as educate people about the effects of social media. With more of a focus on social media, it may be required to upgrade the IGC's current equipment or purchase new equipment. Peripherals such as webcams will come in handy for streaming conferences and meetings. As mentioned, Facebook uses a paid advertisement campaign service. This will be used to generate interest for the event. Lastly, to boost interest and buzz about the event, funding will go towards search engine optimization to ensure a high rank within search engines. This gives an approximate upper cost of $43,000. These costs could be lowered if the IGC decided to re-evaluate certain areas of this social media strategy. For example, running smaller advertising campaigns on Facebook or reducing search engine optimization. As mentioned before, this social media strategy aims to enhance collaboration and communication. Although an instant financial return may not be evident in the early stages, the reduction of costs, particularly in the communication sector, will soon develop due to the use of these online tools. An example of this cost reduction can be shown from simply switching communication methods from a solution such as Microsoft Exchange over to Google Apps. This can save a small organisation of 10 employees up to $35,000 a year. Lastly, there are a number of important milestones that have been considered for this strategy. These include requirements gathering. This includes all of the preliminary work needed to put together this strategy. Date for completion is the 4th of November 2011. The next process is the decision process, which involves the IGC selecting an appropriate strategy from those submitted. It's anticipated that this will begin from the 7th of November 2011. Once a strategy has been selected, any training and recruitment requirements will need to be addressed. This would include hiring staff to execute certain tasks in this strategy or to begin training existing staff. Finally, it is suggested that the IGC should start the execution of this campaign 1 month prior to the registration's opening. After the initial launch, the social media activities will include relevant updates and posts to Facebook and Twitter, as well as monitoring and updating all Facebook advertising and search engine optimization strategies. Once registrations have closed, the IGC will move its focus from promoting the Congress to updating social media sites with relevant information on the event. A key measure of success for this campaign will be if the number of registered delegates reaches and/or exceeds the anticipated levels. Monitoring the levels of social activity such as tweets and interactions on Facebook will be a key to determining the success of this strategy as well. Thank you for watching this presentation. I hope that you have found this to be a valuable addition to our written proposal and that you now have a better idea of how our team can help the IGC to leverage social media to benefit their upcoming conference in Brisbane.